Hey, it's Arjun, CEO of doola.com, and in today's video, I'm going to walk through, can you buy an LLC? Doola.com is a business in a box. We help you form an entity in all 50 states, LLCs or C Corps, get an EIN, get a registered agent, set up a business bank account, and do your taxes and bookkeeping so that you can focus on what you do best while Doola handles the rest. Along the way, we've helped over 10,000 entrepreneurs just like you from over 175 countries, and we've raised over $13 million of venture capital from some of the world's best investors, including Y Combinator, HubSpot Ventures, Nexus Venture Partners, Cody Sanchez, Graham Stephan, Sahil Blom, and more. All supportive of our mission to help anyone around the world turn their dream idea into their dream business and to help us put out content just like this so you can navigate the journey of entrepreneurship. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly whether or not you can buy an LLC and how to do it. Hint, you can. To get there, we're going to go through a couple key sections. The first is why you should actually consider buying an LLC. Next, we'll run through 5 tactical steps on how to actually buy an LLC. Following that, we'll do a quick pause and run through a checklist of things you should consider before actually finalizing the purchase. And we'll then wrap up with a few final tips on making that purchase. Without further ado, let's dive in, or as we like to say at Doola, let's Doola it. You may not always have a breakthrough idea for starting a business, and the truth is, sometimes buying a business can actually be a much more lucrative option. But can you actually directly buy an LLC like you would directly buy another asset? A limited liability company can't be bought like physical assets such as a car or a house. However, it is possible to buy ownership interest in an existing company and then become a member or owner of the LLC. We're going to cover the tactical steps on how to do this, as well as the important legal elements to keep in mind. But first, why should you actually consider buying an LLC? Buying an LLC, or more specifically, buying ownership interest in an existing LLC, can offer several advantages. These are 5 specific reasons why you might consider buying an LLC. Limited liability protection. One of the main advantages of an LLC is that it provides its members with liability protection. This means that the limited liability protection ensures members' personal assets are generally protected from the debts and liabilities of the entity. If the LLC is sued or goes bankrupt, the member's personal assets are not at risk. Established business. When you buy an existing LLC, you are buying an established business with a track record of operations, a track record of customers, and a track record of revenue. This can save you the time and effort of starting a new business from scratch and can provide you with an immediate income stream. Tax advantages. LLCs offer several tax advantages, including pass-through taxation, meaning the LLC's profits and losses are passed through to the member's personal tax returns, and the LLC itself does not pay federal income tax. In addition, LLCs may qualify for certain tax deductions that can reduce members' tax liability. Easier access to funding. An established LLC with a strong financial history may have an easier time accessing funding versus a new business. This can be especially important if you are looking to expand the business or invest in a new equipment or technology. Flexibility. LLCs offer a high degree of flexibility in terms of ownership structure and management. For example, an LLC may have a single member or multiple members, and members may choose to manage the LLC themselves or hire a manager. How to buy an LLC in 5 steps. If you are considering acquiring an LLC, it is essential to follow a series of steps to guarantee a seamless transaction. At the end of the day, whether your goal is to obtain full ownership of an LLC or acquire a partial ownership stake, it's crucial to be familiar with the necessary procedures. Here is a 5-step guide to assist you in navigating the process of purchasing an LLC. Step 1. Find an LLC business for sale. This can often be the hardest step, but the first step in buying an LLC is to actually find a company that's for sale and find a company that you want to buy. There are several ways to find LLCs for sale, including online marketplaces, business brokers, and networking with other business owners. For example, websites like BizBuySell and businessforsale.com are online marketplaces where you can search for an LLC for sale in your area or your specific industry. Business brokers are also a valuable resource as they can put you in touch with LLC owners interested in selling their businesses. Step 2, start negotiating with LLC owners. This involves discussing the terms of the sale, such as the purchase price, the percentage of ownership interest to be sold, and any contingencies that may arise. You must go into the negotiations with a clear idea of your goals and the value of the business to be acquired. Consider hiring an accountant or an attorney to facilitate negotiations and ensure that all legal and financial aspects of the transaction are properly addressed. The third step in buying an LLC is to conduct due diligence. For example, this is a thorough investigation of the company to verify its financial and legal situation. In other words, you're taking a peek under the hood. From the outside, things might look good, but sometimes under the hood, there could be a sham engine, or the business is actually even in better shape than you thought. As part of due diligence, you will want to review financial statements, tax returns, and legal documents, as well as contracts, really any other relevant information about the LLC. You may also conduct interviews with employees and customers to gain insight into the company's operations and the company's reputation. This information will then help you evaluate the risks and rewards associated with the investment and determine if the purchase price is reasonable. Some of the key areas to investigate during your research include the following. Financial performance. Review the LLC's financial statements, tax returns, and cash flow projections to assess its profitability and financial health. Legal compliance. Verify that the LLC complies with all applicable laws and regulations, including licensing requirements and environmental regulations. Contracts and agreements. Review any contracts, leases, or other agreements that the LLC has entered into to identify any risks or liabilities. Intellectual property. Verify that the LLC has proper ownership or licensing rights to any trademarks, copyrights, or patents that it holds. If you discover any red flags as you research, you may need to renegotiate the terms of the sale or walk away from the transaction altogether. The fourth step in buying an LLC is to finalize the purchase agreements and other related documents that are necessary to complete the transaction. These documents vary depending on the specific terms of the sale, but they may include the following. Purchase agreement. This document outlines the terms of the sale, including the purchase price and the percentage of ownership interest being sold. The purchase agreement should be reviewed and signed by both parties before the sale is finalized. Operating agreement. This document outlines the rights and responsibilities of the LLC's members, including management structure, voting rights, and profit distribution. Bill of sale. This document transfers ownership of the LLC's assets to the buyer. Assignment and assumption agreement. This document transfers the LLC's contracts, leases, and other agreements to the buyer. Closing statement. This document summarizes the financial aspects of the transaction, including the purchase price, closing costs, and any prorations or adjustments. Once the documents are finalized, the sale can be completed. However, it is advisable to consult a lawyer or accountant to ensure that the documents are properly drafted and your interests are protected. The final step in buying an LLC is to notify the state where the LLC is registered about the change of ownership. This typically involves filing an amendment to the LLC's Articles of Organization to reflect the new ownership structure. The specific requirements for notifying the state vary depending on the state in which the LLC is registered. Generally, you must provide the state with the following information: the name and address of the LLC, the names and addresses of the new members, the percentage of ownership interest held by each member, the effective date of the change in ownership. In addition to notifying the state, you may also need to update the LLC's tax and financial records, as well as any contracts or agreements that would be affected by the change in ownership. Here are 3 things to keep in mind before you actually finalize that purchase. Existing liabilities. One of the potential disadvantages of buying an existing LLC is that you may inherit any existing liabilities or debts. This may include litigation, outstanding loans, or tax liabilities. Due diligence on the LLC's financial and legal situation is critical to avoid assuming unexpected liabilities. Price. The price of an LLC can vary widely depending on its size, location, and financial performance. Carefully consider the purchase price and make sure it's reasonable based on the business's financials and future growth potential. Overpaying for an LLC could result in financial loss or difficulty repaying your investment. Business reputation. Thoroughly review the company's reputation and online presence before buying to make sure that it aligns with your goals and values. In addition to these potential disadvantages, you should carefully weigh the financial and legal risks of buying an LLC before making a purchase. As mentioned earlier, Working with an attorney, an accountant, or other financial advisors can help you navigate these risks and mitigate any legal liabilities. You can also chat with a doula formation specialist or a doula CPA to answer any questions you have about navigating this part of the process. These are free consultations. You can schedule them online at doula.com. Lastly, let's wrap up with a few final tips on finalizing the purchase and purchasing an LLC. As you might realize, buying an LLC isn't quite as straightforward as buying a car, but you can invest in an existing company and become an active member with ownership interest or becoming the full sole owner. This approach offers various benefits, and it can open up profitable business opportunities that might not have been achievable otherwise. Nevertheless, acquiring or investing in an LLC can be complex. So, to circumvent these challenges, do consider again seeking professional assistance or scheduling a free consultation with doula. At Doula, our team of formation, bookkeeping, and tax experts can help you get organized and navigate the complex process along the way, allowing you to concentrate on tending to your new business. At the end of the day, we like to help founders focus on what they do best while Doula handles the rest. Contact us today for a free consultation with one of our experts. We're more than happy to help. These are no strings attached consultations. As a bonus, let's finish with some frequently asked questions when it comes to buying an LLC online. Can you buy an LLC online? Yes, several online sources provide a marketplace that offers LLC businesses for sale. How do you know if an LLC is right for you? To know if an LLC is right for you, you must carefully weigh the risks and benefits of the LLC. Working with an accountant or a business partner can help you minimize risks and make wiser decisions. How do you buy an LLC name? To buy an LLC name, you can register it with your state's Secretary of State if it's not already in use. And you can check the availability of the name and then complete the registration process with the appropriate forms and fees. How do you buy a partner out of an LLC? To acquire a partner's share in an LLC, you must discuss the buyout conditions, including the acquisition price, the portion of ownership interest being sold, and any potential contingencies. After agreeing on the terms, both parties should draft, review, and sign a purchase agreement to finalize the transaction. That's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed this video. And at the end of the day, buying an LLC can be a lucrative way to actually start running a business. While founding a business can be glorified and is a lot of fun, sometimes it can be just as lucrative to actually take a business that's working and you have the expertise and know-how on taking it from 1 to 10 instead of going from 0 to 1. As you can tell, there are some complexities, so don't hesitate to reach out to Doula to cover any questions you might have through the process. Lastly, I'll finish with the best piece of business advice that I've ever gotten. A decent plan executed today is infinitely better than the perfect plan executed a year from now. And the reason from that is taking action is the most important thing. Otherwise, you're stuck in analysis paralysis, and a year from now, you actually haven't made any progress. So instead, put together the best plan, talk to specialists, talk to doula, or do your own research. At the end of the day, we want to make sure you get it right, but we also want to make sure that you take action. So that's a challenge for you. Take some action today. Take one step towards buying an LLC. If you're watching this video and you've made it this far, you are in the 1%. You're trying to learn, but taking action is key. Thanks for watching. Comment down below if you have any additional questions on buying an LLC. Can't wait to see you in the next video.